Welcome to the for now named Misdirection podcast. This is episode 0, our pilot. I am Jared.
Mark.
And I'm Allison.
I was getting ready for this presentation, but it was a speech. That's what it was, because it was like, wear a polo but not like suit and tie. And so I texted Natalie and I was like, "Hey, are my nice jeans at your place?"
Yeah.
She texts back, "No."
I
was
thought you
like-
would text back, what nice jeans.
No, she said no, because the pair I had there were, somewhat faded and whatnot, and they were blue. Blue apparently isn't nice.
Wait, what color is nice jeans?
Like black is nice jeans, or like, it's one of those weird things, like your jeans could be considered somewhat nice because they're well faded. But like super blue jeans, no. Or
Okay.
really comfy faded jeans, no, those aren't nice. Well, I had two pairs of jeans, one significantly more faded and comfy, and I was like, well, I'm not going to wear these. I need to look, nicer than that. And so, I texted, and she's like, no. And I was like, do I have any jeans there? And she's like, well, yeah. I was like, can you text me a picture of them? All right. Sends me a picture of them, and I'm like, yeah, those are my nice jeans. What this derails into, while I'm trying to get dressed at this point, also her berating me of like, those aren't nice jeans. I'm like, okay, can I get my jeans? Blah 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 blah. And it ended up me spending $100 on a pair of nice jeans. This is what I get for trying to look good for class.
See, one time my mom, I just recently bought new shoes. And I went camping with some friends. It was actually the first time, like, Stuart and, like, my old friends in high school ever got drunk, like, first time drinking.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there, and we were sitting by a campfire, and it had, like, this metal part around it. And the campfire was going, and so I just put my shoe just against that, not thinking anything. And as I'm sitting there, I start, like, casually seeing in the corner of my eye, like, some bubbles coming out. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, push my shoe away, and it started melting the side of my shoe. But these are like new shoes I just bought like a month ago or something. And so I was like, God damn it, I'm not going to go buy new shoes after I just bought these new shoes. And so I wore those pairs of shoes for like a year or two. And it pissed my mom off because she was like, you need to go buy new shoes. I'm like, I just bought these shoes. I'm not going to go buy new shoes and everything. It got to the point, I think it was freshman year of college. It was the day before welcome week and moving in. She saw I still had that pair of shoes, and she handed me her debit card and told my dad to go to make sure I go buy new shoes before college starts, so that I would have a new pair of shoes, because she hated it. And then she talked about she went to the doctor's the other day, and the doctor that was like serving her or whatever had like the same that he walked in with a pair of burnt shoes, and they're like, what happened to your shoes? He goes, I burned them in the campfire about a week ago, but kind of bought these recently, so I'm just going to wear them out for a little bit longer. And it's like, see, I'm not the only one.
So did your mom then send the doctor to the store with her debit card?
Give the doctor another year or two if he's still wearing them. My mom will send them.
So then I have a question for you, because I don't know if this is like a my family thing or a common thing. I've recently discovered that I have a ton of shoes. Like, I might have close to 25 pairs of shoes right now upstairs.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, I maybe had 6 or 7. That's one pair of gym shoes, one pair of like outside mud shoes, which were our old gym shoes when they got worn out, a pair of flip-flops, pair of hiking boots, pair of dress shoes, and then a pair of basketball shoes. So 6 pair growing up. What I recently thought about and discovered was, because whenever any of those got old, with the exception of like dress shoes, hiking boot, those we would just outgrow before we had a chance to wear them out. But these other shoes that we had, they would kind of go through the rotation, become mud shoes, and then thinking back, they just disappeared. What I realized was once a year, my dad would go through and just throw them away. It's like, I haven't seen anyone, like, the mud on these are caked. Clearly they don't care about them and just throw them away.
Yeah.
And that's how I never got to the point where I had, 25 pairs of shoes. Because I look upstairs, I'm like, kind of like the same thing. I have shoes that when you take a step, the sole comes apart from the like where your foot is. And I'm like, but the other shoe's still good. I'll fix them.
And you never touch them.
Yeah, 4 years later, 4 apartments later, they've been through moves and everything. I look at them like, nah, these are still good.
See, we had vastly different childhoods. I had one pair of shoes. It was, I would get a new pair of shoes, I think about every year. It would always be tennis shoes.
Yes.
And those would be the shoes I would wear to school, to nice events. I would get a new pair of cleats, but it would be for basically every sport. Because I used to play baseball, I used to play football, and so it was just like the same pair of like, cleats.
Yeah.
So I had 2 pairs of shoes. And then like my mom, I remember, bought me water shoes. But I hated water shoes. I thought they were stupid. I didn't understand the point of them. So I never wore water shoes. And then I just hated flip-flops. I don't like the feeling of like your heel going up and your shoe not following with you. So now, today, I own 6 pairs of shoes. Maybe not even 6, I think 4. I own a pair of black dress shoes, a pair of brown dress shoes that I just bought yesterday, actually. A brand new pair of both. My current tennis shoes, my backup tennis shoes, which is my old tennis shoes that I used to wear, and then a pair of boots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Well, it's actually kind of funny because you said your mom bought you water shoes. My mom did the same thing. I was probably 6th grade. I wore them once and I was like, this is weird because it's like the sole isn't as thick as a normal shoe because it's meant to just let all the water out. I was like, I don't like these.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear them. What ended up happening is we went on the bachelor party where we
hear that ghost?
It's out.
That's a ghost.
Is it?
Yeah. There's definitely a wailing scream of a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of hope the mic picked that up.
Is that going to be an outtake or are we leaving this in?
We'll find out. But I'm just thinking, like just sitting here, I'm just like, did you hear that? Hear what? And then I cut the mic.
But like when we went on the bachelor trip or bachelor party, we went canoeing, and we flipped our canoe the first time because we were being idiots, and that's when I cut the bottom of my foot. Mm-hmm. First thing I thought is fucking water shoes. If I had those, I would have been perfect. It would not have been bad. So you got it to work. Yeah, you just didn't hit the button close enough.
See, I don't know what it was. But
no, it needs to be recalibrated.
It just hates me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hi, Allie.
Say hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
You're on the air.
I'm on the air. I was gonna
Live
ask if
to
you were recording.
25,000 people.
Is it really that many people?
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
Let's be honest
This
here.
is why I like working.
I don't want to lead you astray.
Because you're the good one.
Obviously.
Dog.
I'm the one that everyone likes and wants to bring around places. So.
You are the one that everyone likes, and you're the only one who I openly say yes is welcome anytime.
Ah! You're not!
Suck it, Hank.
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Our magic act wasn't that talent either.
What are you talking about? We did like 1 or 2 tricks, kind of.
We did 3, and one of them a girl lied.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was thinking that as like all 1 trick.
Did I ever tell you about that?
About the talent show?
Yes. So we had 3 tricks planned. One was Mark's trick was very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
It was our showstopper.
Yeah.
I had our 2 opening tricks, which are all card tricks. So the first one, we decided that we were going to have someone pick a card. Did we have it pick?
There's 2. There was the flipping through the cards.
Yeah,
And then there was pick a random card out of a deck.
yeah. Okay, so we had someone pick a random card out of the deck, and then I went on. It was like, talked about, these are the keys for magic, and then went completely away from the trick. And then we had a deck where a card will jump out at you. When we were practicing, the card that we had set up for the first person to pull kept showing up in the other one.
Well, to be fair, the card that the person pulls, it was a deck of all 10 of hearts.
10 of diamonds.
You could not choose another card.
Yes, it was 52 10 of diamonds. Because I had 2 decks. I was using. I actually did some good hand play as far as switching.
Was it supposed
and
to be like actual, like really good magic, or was it supposed to be like cheesy magic?
It was comedy magic.
Yeah.
It was a comedy magic show that's
Okay.
more based on the comedy than the magic.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes. Yes. Like they had them pick that. We went away and picked a little girl,
Yeah.
and I flipped through it. I was like, "Do you see one?" And she was
Have you
like,
prefaced the story that this is like at a camp and that you weren't just like, "Hey, child, come here."
This is at 4-H camp.
Yeah,
This
this
in front
is-
of like 400
Yeah,
kids.
Times Square.
Yeah.
We just start yelling.
Yeah.
But and so like we flipped through it.
No, okay,
You know,
so you flip through the deck so someone can see.
Yeah, so it's
Cards,
like I
but-
flip them
but
at you,
quick.
and then one should
Pops
jump
out,
out at
yeah.
you. And so when we were practicing, we would see like the King of Spades, which is the one that we were trying to get.
Yeah.
And then the 10 of Diamonds would be the 2 that just jumped out at you. We thought that was too weird, so the night or the day of, we're getting ready. I was like, do you know what? We're taking it out. Took out the 10 of Diamonds, left it in my backpack, and we go up, we get it, and it's like, do you see a card? No. So I do it again slower for her. It's like, okay, I got a card. And so we had
Well, it's also like, okay, tell the people around you.
yeah,
and
tell the people,
everything.
they're all excited. We do a little bit more about, well, the key to magic is all misdirection. What you guys didn't know is, while I was doing this, Mark teleported to the back, planted a card. Joey, will you look under your chair? He pulls it out. We had it like in an envelope, and he's like, oh, wow, it's the King of Spades. And I was like, is that your card? And she said, no. And I was like, all right, whatever.
How old was she?
So
She was probably 8 or 9.
So she's sassy enough at 8 or 9 to lie on a card trick.
Well,
Here's the
the
thing.
whole thing is like we planned for like, okay, if this fails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
just I immediately turn around on the trick. I was like, well, start talking again, and someone yelled out, well, what about the other kid who picked a card? And I was like, excellent. And so Mark and I went up. We had we were like, okay, pulled out the giant deck of cards at that point. We're like, it's got to be one of these. And we're like throwing some up in the air. And at one point, we just kind of throw them up on the air. We're like, hey, you see how some of these are face up and some are face down? What if we told you that one of these face down cards is your card? What about why one jumped right out at you? What if that's your card? And so like we're like leaning in. It's like, go ahead, flip it over. Flips it over. Like, is that your card? The kid's like, no. It's like, okay, whew, that would have been too much. That would have been real magic. I would have been shocked. You all would have been shocked.
Yeah.
And so we go back and
Then we had another prediction in an envelope.
yes,
And you were like, all right, we put this out at the beginning
Yeah.
of the thing.
we're like, can
Like-
we tell the future?
Yes.
That's when we.
That was the biggest thing of like, can we tell the future? Will this tell us
Yeah.
what's gonna go happen? And it's like, all right,
It was a
big
big
reveal.
dramatic for
Like,
me.
yeah.
I was like, all right, Mark, take it
yeah.
out.
And we pull it out, and it just says no.
No.
and then it's like, oh, and then like Jared Port's like, oh my god, but then there's someone over there, and then like people are supposed to look, and Jared just grabs it, turns it around, and it
A,
just says,
a surprising number of kids actually turned and looked and was like, what's that? Turned around and was yes, it was like, magic! So then here's the thing, we then, pull out. Would we have it also in there, or...
No, I think you jumped the gun on the Joey thing. I think we ended with Joey.
That's right,
is what
okay.
it was.
So, that's what it was. And so Joey was actually now when I was like, oh, Joey, can you show the card? And so then I asked the little boy who had picked the cards, like, is that your card? He's like, oh, yeah, that's great. Well, this little liar over here, her and her friends are mystified because she saw the 10 of Diamonds.
Yeah.
So to her and her friends, who were sitting next to the judges, which were just staff members, they were blown away. They're like, how did you do that? Like, was that planned? And we didn't find this out till
afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. They're like, why didn't you go back to the little girl? You had her card.
we just look
Like,
at it and we're like, what?
No. Like, what do you mean? You dig through the back. I was like, this is the 10 of Diamonds in that deck. She didn't see it. Well, that's what she said she saw.
Yeah.
We're like, well, I don't know what to tell
So
you.
she was lying.
Yeah.
That's the, it's basically like among like 10 out of like 400 people were amazed by our
Yes.
trick.
400.
Yes.
That's the numbers we should all strive for in life. 10
Oh, yeah.
out of 400.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone else was just like, all right, yeah, that's pretty good. And those girls are like, oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Just-
That's where our fan base lies. We are really popular with 8 and 9-year-old girls who sit on team like 6.
Which is such a disappointment too, because if we knew that, that would have been more like mind blowing.
Because we could have gone back to her and been like, it was all part of it.
Because I just remember because Jared's giving his spiel, and every time he says misdirection was basically shit. We screwed up.
Yes, because that was our code word. Was whenever I said misdirection.
And he says it like 4 times, I think.
Yeah, that was the
like
I am stalling. If you have anything to jump in with, go ahead.
because he kept doing every single backup we had.
Yes.
And nothing was working out. Just
Oh.
I still have that video.
The real question, and we'll have to do an episode on this.
Should we post it on the website?
Absolutely we should. But only once we have the expose on did Madison ever get her phone cover.
What phone cover?
Remember? In the middle of our... she's talking about like, I don't know, should I get a new phone cover?
I totally forgot about that.
And during the heart of it, she's just like, oh, I don't know. And of course she's a foot from the camera, so yeah.
When people don't know, so Madison, who also goes to 4-H camp with us, was nice enough to film the video for us. But in the middle of the video and us talking, she starts whispering to someone about getting a new iPhone case. In the middle of all this, you can easily hear her talk about it.
Well, I guess really if we're going to preface it, we should start with 4-H camp happens the last week of July for us. And in the middle of March, we came up with the idea of a magic act. In the 3rd week of July, we talked to each other, hey, are we actually going to do this? And we kind of shrugged at each other. And we're like, do you know what? Yeah, let's do this. It's for the kids. So in about 1 week, we threw together a magic act for 450 people, and it wasn't terrible. It did not go as planned at all, but it was a blast, and I mean, they really liked your trick especially.
That trick was amazing.
Yeah.
Mine actually worked.
I remember one year, our cabin, the kids had to do it,
Yeah.
and they decided their talent was to randomly throw gymnastic tricks. Half of them could not do a cartwheel. It was.
I
just remember looking at, I don't remember who was with me, but I remember looking over to them at our other like staff member in my cabin, and I was just like, I don't know. She's like, me either. We're like, all right. Sounds good.
That's when you shrug like, yeah, they tried.
Like, congrats, you get a participation award.
Oh, I didn't tell you, so Mark and I were going to get dinner tonight, but...
Is it better than my pieces of salami and my string cheese?
I mean,
Probably better than my McDonald's.
Yeah, we probably went to Steak and Shake, probably.
Probably.
So I accidentally went out to eat for lunch.
Oh, accidentally?
Yes.
Oh, how does
This
that
is a
happen?
thing that happens. So, one of the things I've been doing at work is like for my breaks, and then for lunch, usually I'll go and walk.
Mhm.
For my breaks, I'll just walk around and get a big complex, probably about a mile loop. But then for lunch, if it's nice, like it was today, I'll go someplace. It's kind of weird, but I really like walking in cemeteries.
No, yeah, you do. It is
Yeah.
weird.
No one bothers you. Like as long as you're
Because
being
they're all dead.
no, as long as you're being quiet and respectful, no one like wants to talk to you.
Because
or
they're all
anything.
sad.
This isn't a newfound thing either. I remember he would come home from college and be like, hey, we should hang out. I'm like, sure, where? He's like, let's go for a walk in the cemetery. I'm like,
Okay.
what?
So
Okay, I know Jared for 3 years now. I never do this. This is a new thing.
it's been like 4 at least.
Okay,
Maybe 5.
one, we have never walked in a cemetery together.
We've
well,
done it
yes.
multiple times.
Yes. And,
Okay,
well,
now we
like,
got a question. Day or night better?
mostly day.
Except for Halloween.
No. It started with, to preface it, was when Pokemon Go got big.
True.
They would have tombstones that would be Pokestops. So if you had an interesting cemetery, you might get like there's one.
Things no one's ever said.
There's one in Covington. It's about a half-mile loop. There's almost 25 Pokestops.
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those where like if you need to fill up your bag, I would go there once on either Saturday or Sunday. I would go like between 2 and 3, where the funerals are
Not happening because
No, they are. They happen in the morning.
You see Jared,
Jared just looks at the schedule like, what day are the funeral? Or what time are the funerals today? I'll make sure I avoid them.
Yeah, Friday I go through the obituaries, plan out my
Pokemon Go stops.
I would go walk around for 2 hours. You get 4 or 5 miles in, and your bag is full.
With bones.
I
and
feel like
everything
my
hanging up on the way.
I swear my mom called me once and was like, what are you doing? I was like, hanging out with Jared. She's like, oh, where? The cemetery.
Where everyone goes to hang out, you know.
Come on, Mom, we're adults who are old enough to drink, but we're at the cemetery. What? You didn't do
What
this?
else would you do?
It's not that weird, but it's
No, it's more weird that I agreed to it.
It's peaceful.
I'm imagining that you did agree to it. Jared just like, hey, we're gonna walk, and just like, yeah, and he just drove you to a cemetery.
Actually, you might have. You might have picked me up.
Well, what we're missing is
Oh, he
So-
does this on his lunch breaks.
yes, yeah. Where I'm on my lunch break, and I'm up in Westchester, and there's this cemetery there, and
Is
it's
it a good one?
Well, it's like expansive, and they keep the night, and they have like these giant tombs that are like bigger than the couch, and yes,
Yeah.
it's nice. And there's a
Are
bunch
they
of
as comfy?
trees,
Have
and
you
I
found
never
any-
seen
No.
anyone in there. So the
Probably a
problem,
good reason.
I pull in, and I'm looking for a parking lot. And so the way this is, it's you just go up and you circle back, and it connects, and then you can go up, and it's just a bunch of really long circuits that are all connected. There's not a place to park. I saw one other car in there that was like pulled over off the road halfway, and I had to go into the grass on the other side. So I was like, all right. And I'm about to leave.
How does
I'm on
this lead into getting food?
Yes, it does.
It's
And
very
so I'm
relevant,
making my
trust me.
last circuit, and I see a little gravel path, or like a
I was gonna say a little kid.
like a little
I
gravel,
was like, run.
a
You
little
offer some
gravel
free candy.
turnaround.
You're like, come on.
And I was like, you know what? There's no one else here. I'll just park there. I park. You know, I have my iPod, put in headbuds and everything. Take maybe 10 paces. It just starts raining. I can see like the rain where you can see it coming towards you.
Oh no.
And I just sigh. Turn around, jump in my car. I'm like, well, crap. So I pull up in my phone. It doesn't look big. So it's like, there are restaurants across the street. There's a Frisch's there. So I'm like, I'm just going to go chill in their parking lot, and then I'll just walk once it's done. So drive across the street and everything, because, you know, I don't want to be in a graveyard when it's raining. That would be depressing.
That's weird.
That's just weird.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
That's where he draws the line.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and, you know, you're smelling the food. And at one point I was like, damn it. Get out of my car, run through the rain, go in.
Don't they have a drive-through?
Yeah, but I wanted to sit down.
But you're sitting in your car. It would work
Yes.
too.
Yes, but I'm supposed to be walking. That's what you don't understand.
Obviously.
But
Yes.
he'll go sit down at a restaurant.
Yes. I had
The
walked
steps from
into
his
the
car
restaurant.
to his
Exactly.
restaurant.
If I got a
Just
drive-through,
enough.
that would have been lazy. And so I ended up having a big boy of fries.
That was definitely better than my lunch.
But that is how I accidentally went out to eat when I was supposed to be walking.
Our cafeteria closes at 2. It was 1:52 when I looked up at the clock and realized I hadn't gone to buy food yet. And I ran down the stairs. That was my exercise. I'm on the 3rd floor. It's on the basement.
So running down the stairs is your exercise.
Not up though.
I could get on this.
I know, I took the
exercise
elevator
plan.
back up.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
see, that's
care.
what I was thinking.
I was like, oh, I got my food. All right, elevator it is.
I'm still hung up on this whole cemetery thing. Like,
You seriously have never been asked to go to a cemetery with him?
No, like I'm imagining like you look at forums of the cemetery, and it's like, yeah, there's this random dude who just walked around all the time. He
You're
looks kinda
definitely being
sick.
watched by the
Or
CIA.
like Jared goes at night. He goes like the legend of just like there's just dark shadows.
Like
that
someone thinks you're a
roams
part of a
So-
secret group or something, and they're definitely watching you.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're talking about is Mrs. Celia. So, there is a church off of Burlington, and
Here?
yes,
Okay.
like if you go out, if you turn right before the library, it's probably
Shit, I've lived here for years and I still have no idea what you're
2
talking
miles
about.
back. Well, anyway, it's one where again it had a high frequency of Pokestops in a gym, and I was like, okay, this is where I'll go walk. Like in the summer, whenever I'll just kind of disappear for an hour or two,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'd go and do.
Okay, that makes sense. I do remember this.
And this cemetery doesn't have fences or anything, but it backs up into a
Just my
neighborhood.
string cheese.
So like,
You're just breaking some bones over there.
yeah, exactly. She didn't like the
I'm
story.
I'm trying to be quiet while I eat my dinner. I
No,
am.
you're fine. It's up to Mark to edit it out. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Movie magic.
Yeah, exactly.
I opened my beer and I was like, shit, it's too loud. I opened my string cheese. Dang it, it's too loud. Like,
See, the problem is we don't know how loud any of this is right now.
Yes.
So for all we know, we can't hear Jared at all.
Yes.
But-
oh.
Well, fine.
I was
was
gonna
gonna
ask
say-
you, like, can this pick me up eating my food? Like, can you hear me chewing?
Wait, see, that's no. See, the eventual goal is that we would get more equipment, that we all have a mic, and not just the one. But for right
Yes.
now, at least.
You know, I've never listened to a podcast before.
Really?
Wait, that's a lie. I think I listened to Pointless Blogs podcast once, but I watched the YouTube video he linked with it because I like the visual.
Well, that might be how we start. Is just kind of putting it out on YouTube because it's.
He does
Easy.
has well, he obviously has a huge fan base because he's
Yeah.
dating Zoella and Joe Sugg is his like brother-in-law or whatever, and
Yeah.
like they're all super famous.
But we're
But he has people
intimidatingly
send
funny.
in. He has people send in their secrets and they read them out and it's really fun. I think you guys should do that. I would tune in for that every week.
Just that one segment. We'll make sure to have it linked to it's
Like, it's like, and before
4
every-
hours.
yeah.
You start at fair
Yeah.
41, go to 3.
I love when
It's
people
just
share their
Allie's
secrets.
secrets. She's the only one who goes in.
Just me. I only am the only person who smits.
My
No, I
roommate's
watched-
name is Jared. I'm just gonna leave that one. My roommate walks in cemeteries and doesn't think it's weird. Not really a secret or weird, but okay, we'll move on.
No, I listened to this on the radio too. They did them this morning, and like they're weird. Like they're funny and they're weird. And like someone like confessed to eating their roommate's last banana. Like
It's still there. I had one banana left. I was like, "You bitch."
I can't eat bananas on this diet, so
No.
you're good. You're safe from me eating any of your fruit.
Whew.
That's just what she's telling you. Wait till tomorrow, the banana's gone.
I'm gonna hide it tomorrow now. But yeah, I think you should do that. But the best part is when you're starting out, it's only gonna be your friends submitting things, so you'll know
Oh, yeah.
all your friends' secrets.
Or it'll be them asking us something.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright, so which of our friends are we gonna shit talk today?
Whoever was on last week.
Well, I imagine us trying to tell stories, but be very, very vague. But since all of our friends listen to it, they're like, I know exactly who you're talking about right now.
Yeah. Well, that's what, like, at this point, because I figure by the time an adequate number of people have listened to this, I will have moved. So I don't care
Aw,
saying
sad.
very specific things about where I am right now.
Just wait about 6 months. Al's gonna be listening to this. And you're
I'm gonna be like,
"God,
that's
my
where
old
he went."
roommate." Just
I've totally
shit-talking.
got to remember the little people.
Oh, yeah.
Because he bought me French fries the other day. And I said, "I'll remember this when you get big. I'll tell a story on Twitter." He bought me French fries once and did make me pay him back.
Yeah.
What a good guy.
I always think of I want to get the famous like Bill Murray, where it's like I always hear the story of like this one dude just casually in a restaurant just eating his food, and Bill Murray walks up and just starts eating his fries, and he goes, "No one will believe you," and then just walked away. And
It's
the guy,
amazing.
and the guy is just like, "Well, he's right." Like, like we're telling the story, and everyone's gonna be like, "No way."
You're gonna have to call that restaurant and be like, "Can I get the security
Yeah.
footage?"
And it's
So-
like, I want to be that famous.
Him and I, since like maybe high school, always joked he's gonna be 25 sitting on 25 mil. And I've always said, not that he's always agreed, but I've always said, if you're 25 sitting on 25 mil, you got no choice but to share it with me. We're getting married. And he told me just the other night, he goes, if this podcast takes off, I'm gonna wait and make Mark hold that last penny until I turn
It's gonna be
26.
midnight, and Mark's like, "All right, sign it, Mark.
I was like,
I can come into my well."
I'm such a catch. He just wants to hold that last penny so I can't
I
marry.
also brought that 50 cents you talked
Oh,
about.
perfect. All right, this is our seed money. I'm gonna go to the bank, get a crisp $1 bill. We're gonna deface national currency. That's a felony, and it's on record. We're gonna sign it, and then we're gonna have a plaque. So, did either of you watch the Super Bowl last night?
I watched
Nope.
up to halftime.
Up to halftime. Did you watch halftime?
I did watch the halftime show, yes.
Okay, so.
I mean, I watched the commercials and didn't actually watch the game.
well, okay. The
That-
commercials. is
that's
the,
how you supposed to.
the
Yeah.
commercials is what I was coming around
Okay,
to.
good.
Well, first I was gonna do the halftime show. So
Okay.
Maroon 5 did the halftime show with, the normal slew of other famous
Yeah,
people.
and people are disappointed with the.
I was honestly
SpongeBob.
disappointed with
Yes, because
that.
there's a petition for them to play
Sweet Victory.
Yes. So they start off
Yeah.
the halftime show, all the lights go down, and then they start with the trumpets.
Yeah.
We're like, it's gonna be it. This is it.
Because they just
and
not
then-
get the rights to all of it then?
No, that's all they did was just the trumpet.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
did the
I
trumpet
watched
and
it, but like,
cut,
why
yeah.
didn't they do like more of like the?
I don't know.
That's why
Thanks,
the
guys.
internet's so upset. Is like,
Well, they teased it hard.
Well,
Yeah.
I did not know that they teased it hard.
oh yes.
Well,
it
the
was-
internet's been asking for this for like a while.
Yeah,
They did like mypetition.org.
Do you know I just got Reddit for the first time? So that's probably why I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
'cause,
if you got Reddit, you probably saw. Did you see the NHL game that did it?
yes.
And
No.
everything? Yeah,
It was
Well,
in
No.
Texas. I think Dallas did
Yeah.
their halftime.
was the full song
Yes.
with like lights and
yeah,
everything.
they did
all
lights going
coordinated.
down, and they kept the center black,
Yeah.
but would like do like almost like a just a laser beam like
Yeah.
spotlight on them.
Well,
It-
I'm gonna point out I'm not mad that Adam Levine took the shirt off. Not mad at all.
Uh-huh.
I'm a big fan of it, but it
Yeah.
totally brought down the credibility of the performance.
Did it?
And then have you seen all the things today about Janet Jackson, like the memes, like Janet Jackson sitting there going,
I saw that. Yeah, where it's like everybody can show two nipples, but she can only show one.
Yeah, and she got blacklisted from like all of radio and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, basically that's what I paid attention to was Adam Levine shirtless.
Well, I
So-
finally figured out why people were mad at Maroon 5 for performing.
Okay.
Why?
It took me until after the Super Bowl to figure out why the protest was. It was because, all the it started I think with Cardi B, where she said, "I'm not going to do it because of Colin Kaepernick kneeling and everything," and so all these musicians were kind of banding together of
I hope
for
people
rights
kneeling.
and everything. We're not going to do anything, and apparently, anyone who was named, after Cardi B. I think Travis Scott was up next.
Well, Travis Scott did the show
Yes, he ended up doing part
because his
of
baby
it.
mama on Forbes
Yeah,
magazine.
and so they would name people, and then that person would be like, no, I'm not going to do it, and I expect whoever's next to do it. And apparently, Maroon 5 broke that,
Yeah.
but I didn't hear about any of this till afterwards.
I didn't hear anything about any of it till just now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did you hear his interview about controversy though?
No.
About how he said this is the kind of stuff I actually listen to.
Okay.
So if you want to know things about like Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner and their baby, I got you. You guys wanna know things about the, No, just their Instagrams.
Watching our live viewers drop.
Wait, it was already at 0. Oh my god.
Jeez, no. But he
Cats
Adam
are
Levine
crazy.
did an interview, and they were asking him about controversy. I didn't realize this is probably why they got
Yeah.
pulled. And he said, "I don't think you can be an artist and not be able to accept controversy." He's like, anything we do is constantly up for scrutiny. And he basically said, I think I'm pretty well equipped to take any scrutiny that comes with this performance. And he goes, and I will kind of just basically let it roll off my back. It doesn't really affect me. I'm going to enjoy performing.
Mhm.
And that's what his comment was on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, people do get shit talked for, like, doing the Super Bowl game. I didn't realize a lot of it was probably with the controversy behind this as well.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So speaking of Maroon 5, they have a song called "Wait,"
Okay.
and in the music video, just an absolutely gorgeous girl.
Okay.
Okay.
And
My delay.
it
My
came
delay. I was like, oh.
up.
No, she's
Alexander.
not. What? I don't think that you and I think the same type of people are gorgeous.
Who are you showing?
You were part of the Snapchat conversation.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Alexandria Desandra, whatever her name is?
Daddario, I
Yeah.
believe is how you pronounce it.
All I know her from Baywatch.
Yeah, she was in Baywatch. She was in Percy Jackson, and then
The
she's
Oh,
Dude.
she was in Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
and she's in the music video for "Wait."
Huh.
She's in the new Baywatch, not the
Yes,
old TV
yes,
show.
yes.
I was going to say.
To clarify.
Okay. Interesting. I do remember her from Percy Jackson.
I wasn't wowed.
You weren't allowed to watch it?
No, I said I wasn't wowed by her.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't allowed. I was like, oh my god.
No, I haven't watched it.
That
I
would
have
be
not watched
weird.
the second one though, because I heard that movie bad.
Okay, side note, was anyone else's parents banning them from watching The Golden Compass when you were little?
No, but I've never seen the.
I was gonna say I've
Compass.
never seen
So-
the.
I remember
Golden Compass
asking
either.
to see it, and my mom, because we're all from the same religious background
Yeah.
mostly. I remember my mom being really, really mad at it and saying it was sacrilegious and that I wasn't allowed to watch it. And I think I watched it for the first time this year.
I have no idea what it's about. So.
I don't either.
I honestly
think it's
watched
got
it and I
a
was
Golden
like,
Compass.
I just remember watching it and being like,
Is that the one with like a giant polar bear?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I also remember we watched Narnia, and that has a lot of like religious references too. And my mom almost got really mad. Almost like she was like, I don't know, it depends on how they portray it. And my mom like wanted to watch it first, and I was like, okay.
Oh, I did have friends who their parents would pre-screen movies, including like if a group of people in like 6th grade were gonna go see a movie.
Their parents go see it first.
Yes, their parents would go the night before, or I was like, that makes zero sense to me. Like,
My mom was never like that, but it was just those 2 movies that she was kind of like. Well, my mom had read like Narnia, the book, before, like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe,
Yeah.
so she was more okay with that one because she knew how it was portrayed. But like, she was really against the Golden Compass. Like, don't know why. I watched it, and I'm still over here like, I don't really see the references. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, I never had that issue. The only issue I had was like my dad wouldn't allow me to watch Adult Swim.
Oh, I just
But-
didn't like it.
But if those shows were on a different channel that was not Adult Swim, I could watch them and everything. Because I remember it was specifically Yu Yu Hakusho. It came on at Adult Swim. I wasn't allowed to watch it, but it came on some other channel. I forgot what it was. I could watch it. My dad wouldn't say a thing and everything.
I was never banned from watching anything. My dad and I used to watch MTV Next together. We would laugh our butts off.
See, my friend was banned from watching The Simpsons.
I just
And-
don't like. I don't like those kind of shows.
Well, I just remember specifically because it was 8th grade, and we were having a sleepover, and it was after the Simpsons movie came out, and I owned the Simpsons movie, and he begged me to bring that movie secretly, so that and
you
everything.
bad kids.
because his parents allowed him to watch The Simpsons, so like it's getting close to like laying his parents to sleep, and we start watching Simpsons, and he's like having the time of his life and everything like that because it was like his first Simpsons thing, and he always wanted to watch The Simpsons.
I'm just imagining the conversation when everyone left the other day. Now, Luke, we heard the Simpsons theme song.
It's not why I'm embarrass you.
He's the
But
bad egg. I don't know what you're talking about.
you want to hear a crazy one? My mom's a teacher, so they would have conferences like after school sometimes, and all of us teacher kids had to like stay after because you just didn't ride the bus home. You went home with your parents.
Yeah.
So what we would usually do is there was like a developmental meeting or something going on. We would all like go into one classroom and like play or watch TV.
Yeah.
And my mom's an elementary school teacher, so that's like pretty normal. And I remember one time I was like, "Oh, let's watch Zach and Cody," and the like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. And the other kid goes, "Oh, I'm not allowed to watch that. My mom says they're bad influence for not listening to their parents and getting in trouble all the time." And I was like, "It's on Disney Channel."
I know. I'm gonna say, jeez.
And we didn't watch it because I was like, "I'm not gonna make you do anything you don't feel comfortable with, but we're about to talk to your mom when she comes back in here."
But I was gonna say, because isn't the end of each show pretty much them realizing like, oh, the adults were right anyway. Should listen to them.
Yeah,
You're like,
so I
that's
was-
something you want your
but, like,
kid to watch.
I just remember he was like, "Yeah, my mom says I can't watch it because they just portray like kids who don't behave," and I was just like, "What?
I
It's
don't,
on Disney."
I don't remember a whole lot from it other than the Prindle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
I remember
Pringle.
that now. Aw.
That was great.
And what was his?
Esteban Rodriguez, like.
Yeah, and he'll go, "Oh, Mr. Mosby."
I remember. Like,
That's all
weird
I
little
know
things.
about it.
See, I still remember the episode where it was Max kissed Cody or whatever on an accident. Well, not an accident. It was like they just went to like a basketball game, and she goes and kisses him, and she's like, "Oh no, there was a giant bug on your lips," and I just decided
And
to
you wanted to
smush
say
it
that to another girl
with,
forever.
with my lips.
I remember like weird things. Like I remember the Prindle. I remember when like what's her name went to like Maddie's school, and London went to Maddie's school, and she like renovated her locker into like a closet with like
Yeah.
escalators. Like I remember things like that. Like they were the funny ones to me.
Yeah. I just always questioned like whatever happened to like Zach
Zach
and
and
Cody.
Cody?
I wondered-
Well-
I can't remember their names.
They graduated high school, and then
Well,
they did Sweet
well-
Life on Deck.
No, it was what happened to their friends, because you see them like the first like 5 episodes, and then you never see their friends again. Because like Max, whatever that other dude is, and everything.
It's like you would season Friends.
yeah, well, like you would see them. Then you didn't even see them for like a couple like seasons. They came back to do like that band thing for a while, and then Max came back to do like that kiss thing, and that was it. Like you just never saw them again.
I still call it Blech instead of Bleach as like a joke from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, because on one of the episodes, like the janitor guy, whatever his name is.
Erwin.
There you go.
I think it was
I just remember he like goes to the store and he's like, yeah, it's blech. And he's like, it's bleach. He goes, blech. And so still to this day I call it blech.
I think he was my favorite character in that show.
Now, here's the real question. If that was on right now, would you watch it or look for something else?
I'd probably still watch it.
See, I feel like I would pass it up.
Or
No.
are you talking about like I've never seen it before, or is it
No,
like
no,
a
no, it's-
rerun?
A rerun.
I would watch a
I would
rerun,
probably watch it.
hands down.
Yeah.
I hate Disney Channel shows now because I get mad. I'm like, can Kim Possible come back on and I can watch all the reruns?
They're making the live action movie.
I saw.
And it looked crappy.
I
I
know.
was gonna bring up the trailer, which just looks terrible.
I'm like, if you ruin my childhood, I think I may have to go somewhere and protest.
Did you see or hear the new version of the theme song?
No.
They had the main girl, like the Kim in the live action one, sing the theme song
Why would you?
and everything. So it's an updated version of it and everything, and it does not sound better.
This.
Just call me, beat me when you can redo this. Like, wrong.
Man, it's gonna be.
I think the live action stuff has gone
I'm
too
gonna
far.
see
I'm
it.
not a fan.
No, it isn't. I'm 100%
I'm gonna
watch
see it. That's the issue, and that's why they're making it still. But I'm not gonna enjoy it.
We all have to watch it for nostalgia,
Yeah.
though.
Well, that's the thing I was talking about, because I was talking to one of my friends about this. Like, they remix the song and everything. I'm like, this is not for kids nowadays. This is for us who grew up with Kim Possible, because we're for sure gonna watch it. So you need to stick with everything that made the show good.
I think me and one of my friends probably, I know for a fact at least she did, I probably did too, 3 years in a row had Kim Possible themed birthdays, and I remember she came over the night that the Kim Possible movie came on, and I remember sitting in my basement watching it, and when Kim and Ron kissed, we screamed, and I think my mom was like, all right, girls, calm down. We're like, Mom, it's been like 4 years in the
We've
making!
been waiting for this.
See, I hated that movie because I felt like their like relationship came out of nowhere, because it was
So
like
we've been waiting
Kim dating that guy named Eric.
Oh, yeah, I
and
remember
remember
that.
and it was actually like a weird robot, and then just at the end it was like, yeah, Ron, let's go to prom, and it's like, you know what? I like you. Let's make out.
This is
And it
what
was
I
like,
our friend.
well, it's like Ron. You can easily tell was into Kim, but Kim was not
Yeah.
into Ron
Yes.
until like the last 10 minutes of that movie, and then she's finally like, you know what? You're sticking around. I guess we'll start.
And I
dating."
took that to heart, and that's all of high school never happened to me. Weirdest thing.
No wonder I haven't had a girlfriend yet. I need to take one to prom.
Oh, that's it.
And then we need to fight androids and those giant weird Japanese
Back
toys.
when my hair
That'd
was
be a
still
raid.
red, I dressed up as Kim for like I was like a work like Halloween. No, I didn't even do it on purpose. It was I had a black shirt on and like green like army green like jeans,
Yeah.
and I had a cardigan on, and it got hot at work, and I took the cardigan off, and my hair was the same color as Kim Possible's. And
Yeah.
someone walked by, and I think my hair might have even been up in a ponytail. They're like, "Hey, call me, beat me. You look like Kim today." And I was like, I'm not even offended. I'm so proud.
Of course. I did this on purpose.
I was like, I just think she's my alter ego, and you guys just need to accept this
Yeah.
about me.
Do you have any cool twin brothers? That's also another thing. I remember seeing the.
I
Rufus
love how
live
much you
action.
remember about this.
Wait,
Like,
how do you not remember
You know
Kim
what actually
Possible?
kind of fits it? Danny.
What?
She kind of fits the mold for Kim Possible, like family situation and everything.
Oh, having twin brothers.
Yeah.
That's about it.
She disappeared for long amounts of time.
She has another younger brother that's not a twin. Her dad's not a rocket scientist.
That
Her
we
mom is
know.
not a neurosurgeon. Her
Oh,
mom's a
fine.
nurse.
Just unravel it.
and your theory's gone.
It's mostly like Danny's perfect. Mostly because she has two younger twin brothers. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
She's blonde. like,
Well, fine. Don't believe.
no,
I just want to believe in something.
I
Mark.
don't believe. I'm sorry.
But in the end, I think they've gone way too far with live action shows. I'm
Yeah,
done with them.
I don't know, because there's some things like I agreed with you at first until like the Jungle Book. I thought the Jungle Book was really well done, so I'm kind of curious to see what they're gonna do with Lion King here soon.
Did you see Mowgli on Netflix?
No.
No.
It sucked.
Oh, well,
I
now I won't be.
hated I watched it. And it was
To
very
be fair, I am really liking like the princess ones redone. Like I like but see,
See, I don't understand the hate. I like all the live action movies. Like the Beauty and the Beast, I thought it was fantastic.
Actually, hands down,
Yeah.
great
It was,
show.
like, I thought it was great and everything, but like people were just like, oh, they're doing this for money, doing it for nostalgia.
There was definitely some
still-
really bad plot holes in that, though.
Yeah, but I'm like, I still enjoy watching these movies on a day because I feel like if they had this technology back in the day, they would have made these movies like this. I feel like
Yeah.
There's just something about like the enchantment of.
Well, it's also like one of the big questions for Lion King, for example. Beyonce is Nala.
Yeah.
And so one of the questions I've seen brought up is during the scene where Simba and Nala are like wrestling and whatever, when they first meet again. You know, the song in the original one is "Can You Feel the Love Tonight"
Mhm.
yeah,
by Elton John.
Yeah.
Well, neither Simba nor Nala really is singing to each other for the majority of the song.
Mhm.
yeah.
So are they going to have like Beyonce do a cover of it?
Oh,
Will they have
no.
Elton John?
Nala doesn't sing like at all.
She
It's-
sings about a single line
Yeah.
out of probably 45.
Keep
Well,
it.
I
Keep it
assume-
normal. I don't want to see
No,
that.
I assume they would have new music, kind of like how Beauty and the Beast they had like some new songs and everything, like Evermore.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming they would have some new music, but they
I-
probably won't have all
I just
the
hate
old
people messing with
music.
my nostalgia.
Exactly.
See,
That's
my
the
thing
biggest
is,
thing.
I'm mostly pissed is the live action Mulan. They're not. It's not a musical or anything.
What do you
Wait,
mean
what?
It's not a musical.
How
How are
become a
she
man?
bad?
Well, that's the thing. But it's like
Boycotting.
if I remember correctly, the director said that none of them are gonna be like sing. Like they'll have like the songs playing, but it'll be like a background. But like when Reflections is happening, because they showed like an image of like the reflection scene, she was not singing the actual song Reflections,
Well.
but like the music will be playing.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
You picked my least favorite song, so I'm fine.
Well,
with
see,
that
see,
one.
see, my thing is like, but he has changed stuff, so I haven't looked at it recently because I
Yeah.
remember like they said like Mushu wasn't gonna be in the movie.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
not-
out.
that's
No.
not
Bye.
one.
Mushu is now in the movie because so many
Yeah.
people got pissed by
Well,
it.
like the whole movie
Yeah,
is
me
like
too.
he is pretending to be the Great Stone Dragon.
Yeah.
He helps her be a man in like the war, and like he's a huge part
Yeah.
of like the plot drivers.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, it's like, okay, let's redo Shrek, but no donkey.
Yeah. Well, and that's
Yeah.
the thing is like I don't know if they updated it, but like people were pissed like there's no music in this, and they might have changed it with the Mushu thing. I don't remember. I'm looking it up right now. I'm curious.
Well, while you're looking that up, I went to see Glass about a week ago.
Mhm.
Glass.
It's part of the Unbreakable universe. Have you seen that?
Oh,
Same with Split.
Okay.
Is it?
I can't remember
Is
much
this your
about it, but I know what we're
Wi-Fi?
talking about.
Around
I've
here,
read the
I barely
books.
know her.
Yes.
I don't have the internet right now.
I read the
Oh, never mind.
books,
I got
but I
it.
don't really remember much.
Well, yeah, because it's M. Night Shyamalan, and the movie just it was not great. For me, I felt like 90% of the movie was building up to this fight that, even from the first scene, that was the whole point of the movie, was these two people were going to fight. And, spoiler, it just keeps building and building, and then when they actually start fighting, it's like if me and you were fighting, I threw you over to the corner.
Is it Dragon Ball Z style? The whole thing is like leading up to it.
Well, no, you go over to the corner, you like get some people out of the way, and then you see me walking up. Like it's like I push you over there and wait 30 seconds to follow up. Like
I hate that.
it's just long, drawn out, and I didn't care for it much. And I know this was supposed to be their kind of bridge into that universe as far as if they're going to expand it or not. But I saw Split, really like Split. Saw Unbreakable. It was all right,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people love it, but it was kind of slow for me. But I did not like Glass.
I get sad when they make books into movies and it's a flop. Something just sucks. So then
Yes.
they're like, let's make it a TV series, and it's not any better. So Mortal Instruments was one.
Yeah.
It was an awful movie, and I was so excited because I've read every.
Really? Oh, I didn't see the movie.
See, the previews look bad to me.
See, I've read every single book. It's my exact type of thing that I love. That's my
Yeah.
favorite kind of book to read. That's super fun, engaging, and I was so excited for the movie to come out. And then the previews looked really bad.
The previews didn't let you know what the movie was about.
But I had read the book, so I knew, and I was
Yeah.
part of that target
See,
who was like,
I knew what it was about, and I was like, okay, this looks like an interesting take. But I remember I turned to you and I was like, let's see that. And you're like, I don't have any. I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah, it's just like a city is attacking another city, and it's just like why?
Well,
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
and everything.
so the movie was a flop. Really
Yes,
disappointing,
yeah.
and I was kind of sad, but I would have still paid to watch it again.
No.
Because I am that nostalgic person who I love when my books come to life. But then they turned it into a TV series, and I got super excited for that. It was on Freeform,
Okay.
so I was like watching it, and it was slightly better, but I still have no idea. Like I stopped watching it because it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Same thing with Series of Unfortunate Events.
I like that.
Oh, you didn't like the,
Netflix
Netflix
series?
series?
I get bored halfway through things. I need
Yeah,
to
I
hold
liked
my
it.
attention.
It's
The last episode was a bit disappointing, but all the other ones I thought was
I
great.
mean,
I
they
would
were
agree.
better than the movie.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
watching
yes,
the first couple
I agree.
episodes. The last one that I'll mention on that. Oh no, where'd it go? My head, it's gone. Never mind.
But, correction on the Mulan thing. So it originally was not going to have any of the live action music or Mushu. They are now having Mushu, and some of the songs will make it into the movie. Not
Other
all of
ones?
them, but they also just said it will make it to the movie. They're not saying how, but the movie is not.
This is
a
gonna be
musical.
something where they stick them all in the credits.
Maybe.
Like,
Well, like I feel like at least like the "I'll make a man out of you" part. At least they have to have like that
Right.
drum roll in the background as they're doing like a training montage or something.
Yeah, I'll make a man out of you, and for me, a girl worth fighting for. Those are my two favorite
No,
songs.
those are good ones.
This one's
Also,
saying
my other
that-
one was Vampire Academy. That was an awful movie. Great book series. There we go. Found it. Thank you.
Alright.
This one's saying is the favorites are true to your heart, reflections, and I'll make a man out of you.
Wait, the first one is what?
True to your heart? I don't know that one.
Is that the one where they're in the matchmaker? Or is that the one when? No, because it's.
I think that's when she's leaving.
And like she cuts
Like,
her hair and stuff.
yeah, cuts her hair. It's all stormy. I'm not sure, but I had forgot about the Matchmaker song.
Yeah,
that
it's a
one's
good
good
one.
too.
I just like the like lines and like I'll make a man out of you. Like
Well, it's the epitome of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, to the point.
my favorite's like, why was I a fool in school for cutting Jim? I was just like,
why would I fool in school for
cutting Jim.
Well, I love that song so much. Like when I play it, I'll even add in the grunts from when they're
Oh, yeah.
jumping at the end. Whoa!
But I always remember when I used to do drama for tech, like we would have to clean up afterwards, and that was the cleanup song. So every single time, we would pull out that song and start playing it,
And
and
you
it
would
was
say
time to
goodbye
clean
to
up.
those who knew me.
Yeah, and everything like that.
And Margaret, peace out.
But we're also like, we are men. It's like you must be swift as the coursing rain, like sweeping the floors.
So there's
and
just a
everything.
bunch of dust in the air.
Yeah. and we would also kind of try to do the movie like when like they're throwing stacks or we're throwing the brooms to each other.
I
I
thought that was
appreciate
like my
it.
weird workout song. Like, that's my one that like I need to get pumped. I'm gonna work out to that song. Like go Disney.
I'm trying to figure out this like Mulan thing, like the true to your heart. And
Yeah.
it should be a music video. I'm guessing the people who actually sing it or someone made a music video for it. It's not what I want. Is what I'm getting at.
Is it a new song or is it maybe from like?
It's the
Mulan 2?
closing song of Mulan.
Well, they added new songs to Beauty and the Beast. It wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if they added new songs to Mulan.
But this is supposed to be like from the original anime.
You're talking about the one still from
Yeah.
the original.
But this one was the closing song, is what this says.
Okay. That
Your heart closing song. I have no
if you say so.
It's beautiful.
I feel like I'm pretty. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm pretty like big like Disney like knowledge.
It was performed by
person.
98 Degrees and Stevie Wonder.
Interesting.
Man, that is an aged band. 98 degrees.
I have no idea what this song is.
I feel like if I'm a big like Disney fan, I can do a lot of like Disney trivia, and I still don't know what this song is. It's
Well,
very
it all
irrelevant.
depends. 'Cause, like, I remember, gosh, probably 3rd or 4th grade. So I had older siblings, which helped. But I remember most Friday nights at 8 o'clock, a Disney Channel original movie would
I love
play.
Disney Channel originals.
And at least
Great.
once a month was a new one.
Yeah.
And I just remember that I don't think they do that anymore. Or like, at least not nearly to the
I don't think they
extent
do it
that
at all.
did.
No, the Kim Possible one's a Disney Channel original movie.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
anymore.
Like anything other than that, like do
They,
they do?
they did the Teen Beach movie, and I think they did a sequel to that.
Ew.
But that was like
Hannah Montana.
That's
that was
I remember like Smart House, My Date with the President's Daughter, stuff like that.
That was such a good one. Luck of the Irish.
Yes.
yes.
Those were all movies. A lot of the ones like really starting with like High School Musical,
Count.
Oh.
I'd same people did a countdown to High School Musical as I did with the countdown to the Kim Possible movie.
Yeah, and so like all of them kind of turned into more musical. Like, as I understand, Teen Beach Movie was
Yes.
a musical.
Oh, there's also Descendants, which was a musical, and then
Descendants,
Descendants 2, which is also a musical, and they're
uh,
coming out with Descendants
even
3.
like Camp Rock,
Yes,
Oh,
Camp Rock
Jonas
was great.
Brothers.
Lemonade Mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was
So I
another
pulled-
What
one.
was the Minutemen? When was that
Yes.
come out?
I pulled up a list.
Okay.
Oh yes, sometimes I like to go through this list and see how many I remember. It's quite a few
Well,
actually.
it's basically, it seems like every year they came out, well, basically early 2000s, every year they came out with at least like more than 5. And then starting around like 2008,
So when
it
we
was
would
about-
have
it was
just been
about
going into
4.
high school,
yeah, it was about 4 of them a year.
Okay.
And then like 2013, they came out with 1. Which
when
was
we
Teen Beach
graduated,
Movie.
we were the target.
Yeah.
But then there's some other ones I never heard of. Like in 2014, it was like Cloud9, Zap.
Oh yeah, Cloud9. That's where she's she goes and she lives on a resort or she's going to a resort for snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch way too much
You
Disney.
mean Johnny Tsunami?
No, it was
And
like a girl version of Johnny
How to
Tsunami.
Build a Better Boy,
Don't
Bad
remember.
Hair Day,
I remember that
Teen
one.
Beach 2,
Don't know.
Descendants, Invisible Sister, Adventures in Babysitting, The Swap, Tangle Before Ever After.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But with the Tangle Before Ever After was 2017. I'm just going down the list. So like the ones for 2018 was only 2, and it was Zombies and Freaky Friday.
Oh, Freaky Friday.
Yeah, I forgot they
Did
remade that.
Oh.
Yeah, it
With
is.
who?
It's a Disney Channel version of movies. It's probably shit. I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Wait, it's not the Lindsay Lohan one,
Yeah,
is it?
no.
Maybe she's the mom now.
No, it's a new film.
She'll
that was
tweet
a
at
Disney
people
Channel
until she's in the show.
Is it with Little Dicky and Chris Brown?
No.
I would watch that movie.
I will admit, I watched.
I don't even
Disney
know how to
Channel
say
movies
this
way
name.
too late in life.
Kazi Zudistardov. So it's C-O-Z-I, and her last name is Z-U-E-H-I-S-D-O-R-F-F. I have no idea how to pronounce
Let me see
that.
it.
Can I get the language of origin?
Let me see this. Her name is
Those-
Kazi
I don't even like the,
Zuladorf.
art for it,
Zuladorf.
like the cover.
Zuladorf.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
There was a few that I had in high school that they were both musical ones.
Oh, Phineas and Ferb movie. I forgot about that one. That's a great one.
I wish Phineas and Ferb had hit earlier.
Yeah, it would've been
Because
so
all-
good.
it would've
That what I always
Men
remember
was 2008.
for my favorite, like, if I had to pick out individual episodes of TV series, it was always the musical episode that I loved.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's songs, it's rememberable. Like, my first example was like the Even Stevens. Do you remember watching that?
been- yeah.
There was one
I didn't
where
like
they,
it back then.
It's one where because I had older siblings, it was on all the time, and they kind of half explained the jokes. So I was like, oh, okay, I actually get what you're trying to say.
I didn't like Shia LaBeouf, which is weird because then he got older and I liked him.
Oh,
Yeah, he has that biopic coming out.
what is this now?
Oh, you didn't hear about that? Shia LaBeouf has a movie coming out called Honey Boy. It's
Wait.
about his about his life, and he is playing his own dad. And I think Amazon Prime bought distribution rights for it.
He is a thorough method actor. I feel like he's the kind of person. Didn't he like pull a tooth or something? Like,
Yeah, he did that for
something?
like Fury, I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, but no, like he plays his dad. There's a picture up on him.
See, I feel like he just takes bad, like what sounds like good roles, but then they end up like the whole Transformers.
He peaked. He's done.
Yeah, like there's Shia LaBeouf as his dad in that movie.
Interesting.
Well, he peaked. He peaked with Holes. Let's
yes,
be
there
honest.
we go. True.
After Holes,
I liked. He was in. What was the one about the person next door? It was called. It was like a horror movie or like a horror, like a
I don't watch
suspense
horror
movie.
movies.
I don't either, but I remember my
I-
aunt wanted to watch it, and
See-
I watched it with her.
See, I remember him being in like Eagle Eye, which I thought was pretty good. Do you remember that movie at all?
Yeah, I do.
And everything.
I
Yeah.
do not.
It was about like he was just some random dude. He got a phone call, and this person's just like, "You need to jump out the window right now."
It's a
And
Big
he's
Brother
like-
type thing.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's like, "What?" And it's like, "You don't do this, you're gonna die or whatever." So he's like, "Okay," like he like, freaks out, and, like, jumps out the window, and then like you see like the building blows up or like shots start being fired, and basically this like phone or whatever is telling him you need to do this things or you're gonna die. So he starts doing them, but he doesn't know like why at first.
And
Yeah,
the
and
thing that's
everything.
calling him is like a government. Spoilers. It's
Yeah.
like a government like It's like supposed to be like security, like Big Brother would do. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're
Okay.
always kind of watching to help you out. But it's artificial intelligence, and it's like overridden its programming, and now it's using Shia LaBeouf as like its tool.
Yeah.
And it keeps calling him, and like basically because it's routed into all the satellites in the world, all the ATM cameras in the world, all of the it can keep a track on him everywhere.
Huh.
It's really good. You should watch it.
Yeah, it
I'm
wasn't
surprised
a
I
bad
don't own it
movie.
with all these movies.
But it wasn't a bad movie, and it came out like either right after the first Transformers. It was when he started getting like really big.
So this was quite a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this is when he was actually like
At
a
his
big
peak.
named actor.
Okay.
Yeah, like at his peak of acting.
You know, Holes, and then Transformers,
Transformers,
and then Eagle Eye, and then I think it went
Yeah.
downhill from there.
Well, I'm looking up his movies.
Yeah, because it's like there's one that's like
Apparently he's in Surf's Up. I didn't know that.
No. But
But-
anyway, you used to watch Even Stevens.
Yeah. You know who I think is kind of underrated? Jeff Goldblum. Goldblum?
Goldblum?
Blue? Is that how you pronounce it?
Are you talking about the Jurassic Park dude?
Yes.
Who are you
Jeff
talking
Goldblum.
about?
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Pull up a picture. He's in everything.
Okay.
Like
You said the Jurassic dude. I'm like, I don't still know who we're talking
Independence
about. I'm thinking
Day,
Chris Pratt. Like,
No, so the original Jurassic Park, so
Okay.
his doctor, like Ian McKellen. Did you watch Thor Ragnarok?
yeah,
He was the
Yeah,
yeah, I
Grand-
watched the.
yeah,
I
yeah.
watched all
He
those.
was the Grandmaster.
Yeah, like he has a very
Uh,
He has a very like
this is the
diverse-
picture of him in Jurassic Park that most people remember.
What? That is not the same person.
like he has a bunch of a variety of roles.
Did you not watch the James Gordon Thank You Jeff video?
No.
So he does a remix of Ariana Grande's Thank You Next to Thank You Jeff.
Oh wait, I think
And-
I have heard this. I just didn't get what it was about.
Yeah, it was just about Jeff Goldblum, how great of an actor he
Oh.
is and everything. And like it's hilarious because James
Apparently I'm
Gordon
behind the time.
I know.
because James Gordon like parodies like Ariana Grande's music video. So James Gordon's like on a bed for girls like feet kicking back, and he has an album of Jeff Goldblum and everything like that. And then at the end of the video, Jeff Goldblum's like, "Did you make that album just like for the video, or did you already own this?" And he's like, "Well, I kind of already own this." And just like, "That's actually really flattering. Can I have it?" Everything like that. Like it's a funny video.
Have you seen her tattoo, Ariana Grande's? How she messed it up so bad.
No.
So her newest album, one of her hit songs right now, is
Yeah.
called Seven Rings.
Yeah.
Because when her and her fiance broke up, she went out and bought diamond rings for her and her 6 best friends
Okay.
as like a replacement for her engagement ring.
Okay.
Yes.
And so her newest song is called Seven Rings. That's going to be the name of her album. Well, in Japanese, on her hand, she got 2 characters that separately mean 7 rings.
Yeah.
Put together, they mean tiny barbecue grill. So now she has a tattoo that says tiny barbecue grill on her hand.
That's pretty
So
good.
then everyone's like making fun of her, and she's like, "Well, it's
What
funny,
you
whatever."
don't know is she's actually starting a shopping list. But it's only the high priority items.
Well, then she went and got a new character added to it that means finger,
Mhm.
and it's still just completely
So
wrong.
a tiny finger barbecue grill.
It's just so wrong. It's awful. It's on like the palm of her hand, and she's like, apparently it's like super painful to get
Yeah.
tattooed there.
Yes.
And I'm like, girl, you got money, just get it removed.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a question for you because we're all 24. Well, I'm 23 still, but you're both 24, right?
No,
Such a baby.
23. Until
That's
then.
right. I'm older.
You're older than me.
All right, so we got 24.
I was
23,
only
23.
24. I didn't know I'm the oldest here.
Yes.
He's older. I'm the youngest. He
No.
like beats me back.
Well,
and
okay, because
forth.
Jared's the baby in our group
Yeah.
and everything. Because everyone else, like Danny, I think is 25.
No.
Danny?
I couldn't even go off for
No,
his
no,
21st
Danny's
birthday.
24.
I was gonna say.
No, it's Ashley who I'm thinking about.
Oh, yeah. Ashley's a year older
older
than us.
and everything.
So now imagine that you are a superstar in whatever you want to be.
Now we see
What do you
star. Like, are you
So-
talking
so,
about
like-
actor or like sports or?
I mean
anything?
sports. So specifically, I'm talking about Anthony Davis at this point.
Okay.
So I don't know. Probably not because you guys don't keep up with sports ball.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But Anthony Davis recently turned down what's called a Supermax extension,
Okay.
which you have to do things very like you have to win awards. You have
Uh-huh.
to stay with the same team. There's very particular things you have to do in order to qualify for this Supermax extension,
Okay.
which would pay him $48 million over 5 years.
Okay.
Would you turn down $48 million over 5 years? So, to clarify, that's $48 million a year for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
A
yes.
year.
200
Okay. That's a little bit different.
Yes, like $242 million over 5 years.
Okay.
With a team that, you'll get to the playoffs but no further. He going to another team, signing a max deal with his age, he will get $28 million for 4 years. So $28 million
every year.
every year. Would you turn down essentially $100 million in order
It's like-
to try and win championships?
It's like money over prestige. Like,
Yeah.
does the title matter more to you than the money?
Well, my thing is like also at that point, like I don't know his lifestyle. I could easily live off $28 million.
But that's the thing, that it's
Yes.
like, he obviously takes it very seriously, his
Yes.
sport, his craft, and his
Yeah.
name, what he stands behind. So I kind of respect that. Like, hey, you would rather stand on your merit and, like, just earn, like,
A normal
salary.
Well, to also put in perspective, he is the first player to ever qualify for the Supermax extension.
But no one else has ever had this before.
Who
Who created it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened was about a decade ago now, the players formed a union and they came up with a collective bargaining agreement. So essentially, beforehand, it would be you were picked first, you were picked second. I would pay Mark, who was picked first, I offer you $10 million a year. If you like that, great. If not, you could say no. I want $20 million a year.
Okay.
Whereas maybe I only offer you $1 million a year.
Bitch, I don't even get 8.
Exactly. Like it would vary, but maybe the person picked third would get 8 because to that team, that's what they have.
Mm-hmm.
So the NBA set this up where, because before the larger teams, just you have more money because you're in a larger market, would offer more money. So they set this up where, whoever gets picked first, let's just say you get 10 million. Whoever second gets 8, and then it's a slope at that point.
Progression or
Yes.
regression.
And then you get a guaranteed contract for 4 years. But it's at that rate. So what happened was a player, Derrick Rose, came and he was so good in his first or second year, or in his, I think second year, he won MVP, but made $6 million. Where, like, when LeBron James won his MVP, he made $30 million. And so the Bulls, who were his team at the time, were like, hey, we want to pay him more money, but we can't under this bargaining agreement. What can we do? So that's when they came up with, they call it the Derrick Rose rule, where if you fit these certain criterias, you can get these extraordinary bonuses, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so to qualify for the Supermax, you have to, within your first 4 years, you have to get either 2 MVP, All-NBA first team defense, which, super prestigious awards. You have to get that combination, stay with the same team, and then you can sign this Supermax contract, which $20 million more a year for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how they came up with this whole thing. But in the 10 years since then, Anthony Davis has been the only person who, at his age, has been good enough to qualify for that.
See, I feel like the biggest thing is like, where? Oh yeah, it is like well, like I'm thinking like okay, in the short term he might get more money, but then I'm thinking like, what if he goes with a team that wins a championship and everything like that? He can now get better endorsements, arguably more money in the long run, and everything.
So that's what a lot of people are. It's just the biggest thing with that is those only work out as long as you're popular. So I mean, because like Michael Jordan, he'll never need to work another day in his life because
He has underwear, man.
Exactly. And so he's got all this recognition, but then like there are other people who, they during their heyday you knew them, but now it's just like it's just
Honestly,
another
I still don't
name.
know half the people we talk about now in their heyday.
Exactly.
I don't either.
Exactly. So it's curious to me that, especially since it's such a large sum of money, just that because it's guaranteed money, you would essentially throw away $100 million.
I just kind of respect that it's more of like I mean, come on, 28 million a
Yes.
year? That's like more than enough for anyone to live off of. And to say I'm comfortable with that, and I would rather have true like chances at being prestigious.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with it. If you're comfortable in where you're at, and the reality of it is, he's made money his entire career. It's not like the only thing he has to live off of.
Yes,
And
that's
he's
true.
probably got a team of like investment professionals behind him and accountants. It's like they're like, yeah, you're fine with either deal. Which would you prefer? You'll live comfortably either way. And he's like, well, I'd rather just be with a team that I can make a name off myself for. Like, makes sense. He's probably not either way. He's not gonna hurt.
What also kind of leads into like something that I thought as a kid, which has now been completely defunct, like $1 million.
Santa's not real.
What?
Well, we're gonna go ahead and cut that from
He
the
said
cast.
something I thought as a kid that's now completely defunct, and I was like, yeah, Santa's not real.
I
Yeah,
just
we're gonna-
missed
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna cut this
Wow.
whole section from the podcast.
No!
Yeah.
Everyone needs to know that Santa's not real, damn it. Neither is the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny.
Okay, now Mark, you no longer have an open invitation to our house.
Right. This podcast is rated T for teen. But like as a kid, I remember being 9 or 10 and being like, man, if I ever win the lottery and get $1 million, I'll just retire.
Yo,
It doesn't matter if I'm 20 or whatever. For me, that was an infinite amount of money.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now I work in retirement. I'm telling you, if you have $1 million, you're like just barely gonna make it through
Oh, yeah.
retirement.
Oh
Like,
yeah. You
No.
keep working.
Well, I think it kind of stems from like most of the game. Like I played a lot of Sims as a kid.
I love this.
And,
And I'm
like-
gonna play that now.
I would. I would.
I was just gonna go upstairs.
I actually watch the YouTube videos of people playing it.
Yeah. And so, like, for me, like, if you had $1 million, you can do whatever the hell you wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you would build 3 stories, huge swimming pool. Maybe the swimming pool's inside. I don't know. We get crazy.
Fancy.
Exactly. And so, like, I think that's kind of where it came from. Of like, you know, you came home from a bad job and you made $350 a day, but that bought you a new bed. Like, that's the one thing. Like, your bills for a week where you made $2,000 would be like $35.
So I wonder. This is just me now here getting into my little investment self. I wonder if like you hear about celebrities having like multi-million-dollar homes.
Yes.
They don't just buy those outright. So I wonder if Kylie Jenner has someone who's like, hi, yeah, by the way, I need you to pay my mortgage this month. Thanks, just write a check from my account. Great, talk to you later, bye. Like,
A lot of those, because I don't know if anyone watched the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix.
I didn't even know there was one. So
Oh,
It's
I know what
really,
you're talking
it's
about. I
really
haven't watched it.
interesting. It's actually worth the watch.
Oh, are we talking about like the Woozy fire that was going on?
No,
in...
the Fire Festival. It was supposed to be.
I thought you were saying like a film about the fires that happened in.
Yeah,
no,
I think it's like Fire, like, isn't it FYRE?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So to kind of give that background, FYRE, it was an app where supposed to be like in New York, Hollywood, where say like you're Kylie Jenner, you want Drake at your birthday party. You go to the app, you pay the fee.
Drake wants her at his birthday party.
Well, yeah, but you book celebrities that way.
Okay.
So like or you see where they're appearing in public for maybe it's a birthday bash at a bar.
It's like my
But-
Super Sweet 16 where they were like booked like
Yeah.
things like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
but they're gonna do it in an app so that
Oh.
anybody could
Could
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
To promote this, they got this idea that they should hold a music festival, and it's one of those things where their CEO just if he heard an idea that he liked, he ran with it. So he quote unquote bought Pablo Escobar's private island in the Bahamas. And then set up all these plans to try and throw together this whole festival in about 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah, and-
the one that was really bad and
Yes.
Yeah.
like people were like stranded on this island.
Yes.
Yes, because like as it came to like a week beforehand, I guess it was 3 days because people were getting on planes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Blink 182, which was one of their headliners, pulled out
Love Blink 182.
because they're like, look, we kind of talked to them. We don't think we'll be able to put on a show with what they have and everything. So like, it kind of surrounds all of that and just
Like, didn't it like get really bad? Like they were supposed to have like tent glamping accommodations,
yes,
and it was like a tent with like a sleeping bag.
it
Yes.
was a hurricane shelter from when Hurricane Davy went through.
It was like
It was a white dome.
Yeah.
is what
I've
they
seen
had.
like the YouTube like highlights of it where people have like shown like I haven't watched the documentary, but I've seen the highlights.
So yeah, I just remember watching the trailer for the documentary, and that was one thing we go over. It's like we don't have enough beds.
I think there was like not enough like food and stuff too. And
It was basically they didn't have enough anything.
Yeah.
And it was one of those like they weren't gonna back out and just cancel.
But it's
Yeah.
also like these kids. A lot of these kids have money too, but then some of them didn't. They just spent a lot of money to be there. But like
Yeah.
you're like, I just remember it was like really bad. Like that's all I remember was like, oh my god, if I were a parent, my kid was there. I don't care how rich I am, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Maybe if I am more rich, I'll be pissed.
I was going somewhere with this.
I was talking about Kylie Jenner's house getting paid.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
That's how they
Yeah,
pay.
that- Well, no, because what they did was to promote it. They had all these internet personas just put on their Instagram, Twitter, just a burnt orange.
Was it like a
Square.
diamond?
It was just a square.
I thought
Like
was
it
a
took up
diamond.
your whole profile picture, and that was to promote it.
Okay.
So they talked about how they paid Kylie Jenner $250,000 to do this, but they never talked to her directly. They had someone who had a power of accountant essentially,
Yeah.
where he essentially had her sign over that he could take out money for.
That means there's a job out there for power of accountant to Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could put
well,
her
like,
finances at your
It takes
fingertips.
out like he can pay her phone, he can pay her more like
Yeah.
essentially her essential bills he could just pay, but then it's a certain amount that you're allowed to take out, and obviously if the bills don't get paid, it's like okay, something's going
fired.
on here. Yeah.
I'm just imagining the fact that somebody somewhere has access to. I mean, she was named the world's youngest self-made billionaire. Which is not. I wouldn't say self-made either. But that means she's a billionaire. So, which I believe in a heartbeat. So I mean, someone out there is like, "Yep, today I paid Kylie Jenner's cell phone bill." That she also probably pays like dude, they're probably all on a plan together. They'll probably like $45 a month or something. So just remember, Kylie Jenner probably has bills at like $45 a month. She's part of us little people too.
Yeah, I feel like if I was rich, I would still be cheap.
Yeah.
Where
Like
it's
you know,
oh,
Kris Jenner's over here like, honey, we are all on a plan together because we need to have this bill split.
Yeah,
You're doing great, honey.
It's like, I can get a family plan if you're on this
I
one.
imagine it's like the old family plan where you pick 5.
Yeah.
You pick 5 family or friends, you get unlimited texting and calling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did
no.
you guys catch T-Mobile's commercials last night during the Super Bowl?
I did not watch Super Bowl, so no.
You'll watch over the next couple weeks. They are pretty funny. So all of them are text conversations. 2 of them stick out in my mind. The first one, so it's you pull up a phone and it's a conversation between John and Mike. So John texts him, was like, "Hey Mike, I'm here." So John replies, "Oh, thanks for saying that. It's been really rough lately, and I'm really happy knowing that you're here for me." Other guy texts back, I mean, I'm here, send. Outside, send. I'm your Lyft driver, send. And then, you see the dot,
Yeah,
dot.
like they're texting.
Yeah. Oh. Period. That was the first one. The second one was, it was between, all it said was Dad and, Jessica.
Mhm.
So Dad said, chicken parm recipes. She replied, Dad? Question mark?
Yeah.
Best chicken parm recipes.
He
Yeah,
checked
this
Google
isn't
something.
Google.
Yeah.
He replies back, "Oh, okay. Best chicken parm recipes." And then he dot. Here you go, Dad. And she attached a chicken parm recipe, and that to me is just that's something my dad would do.
Perfect.
Where
That's something you would do.
yeah, I don't want to look it up, so I'm just gonna keep texting you until you do it for me.
So Survivor aired a commercial last night. They're apparently revamping Survivor and they're gonna restart it.
How'd they do it this time?
I have no idea.
There's a
There-
mask buried in the sand.
Well, this
On the
prompted
beach.
me and my boyfriend to Google how many seasons of Survivor there were because he's
Aren't they
what?
on like 20
17?
He's like 2 years older than me, so he's like, I remember season 1. I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember season 1.
Yeah.
There has to be like 20 something seasons, right? And he's like, yeah, 37.
Yeah.
Don't they do multiple seasons a year though?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
37. Which then prompted me to text my mother and say, hey, it's time for you to break my childhood dreams. Remember when I wrote to a guy who was competing on Survivor? Did he really write me back, or did you make that up? My mom actually said he really did write me back. So
Yeah.
Who did you write to? Is my question.
my phone's upstairs, but he was from Northern Kentucky and he was competing on the show, and I wrote him I emailed him,
Yeah.
and when he got back from Survivor, he emailed me back.
Oh, nice. See, I don't remember that show that well, except for there was Boston Rob, who was a villain, notorious, and then there was also Rupert, who was a hero and everything. Because I mostly remember all this because it was one season was heroes versus villains, and they brought back all the
yeah.
major people from all the previous seasons and classified them as a hero or a villain, put them all together. Because there was this one dude I remember, I thought he was an idiot. His name was like Hayner or something like that, and it was the heroes versus villains. And I think it was Heroes versus Villains. Basically, Boston Rob was back. And
That's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. And like Jay, and like he was the first guy to get voted out. But this was the first time they introduced Redemption Island. So when you get voted out, you go to an island by yourself. And then when the next person gets voted out, you're in a competition against them to stay on the island. And then if you win every so many, you come back into the game and everything. And so this dude, since day one, was on this island by himself and won every single competition, like 7 in a row or 6, and got back in the game. And then this was when everyone in the game realized like Boston Rob had so much power. They're like, we need to take him down. But Rob had the numbers. This guy was the swing vote and everything. So like the heroes were trying to get him on their side. Then Boston Rob is like, we need him on our side because this guy was the swing vote. Like, who's going to get voted out? Boston Rob, or basically just destroy the rest of these people. And the guy, like, even then, he's like, I don't know who to go for. Like, I don't know who to trust or whatever. He trusts Boston Rob and everything. Boston Rob immediately votes him out and everything like that. Because he tells them, like, oh, we're all voting for, like, Rick or whatever. All of Boston Rob's people vote for him to leave. And then the other people tried to vote out Boston Rob, but didn't have the votes. So then he goes back to Redemption Island after he trusted Boston Rob, got voted off, did all these competitions to get back, re-trusted Boston Rob, got voted off again, and then I think he survived like 2 more competitions and then just got plain voted out.
My grandma and I always wanted to compete on the show, and we always said, how you could bring like your one
Yeah.
item? We were like duct tape. You bring like duh. You can make clothes out of it. You can make shoes out of it. You can make a
Wallets.
shelter out of
You
it.
make
Like,
wallets.
yeah, you can make little roses to go on top of your pins, like we used to do.
Those are so cool.
But like that's what we always said. And I remember a guy in my class, his dad. I was in 3rd or 4th grade, maybe 3rd probably. His dad went, and Survivor was in Cincinnati for trying out.
Yeah.
And I remember his dad, because taking a day off work, came into our classroom. Now this guy was kind of like the outcast kid. But his dad came in saying he had tried out for Survivor, and we were all like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah. He's like, yeah, they gave me these chocolate-covered crickets to eat. Here, I brought some in for you guys to try. I tried them.
What you don't know is this guy he wandered in. Yeah, I just want some crickets.
Yeah, that's
He looked a
probably
little
what happened.
homeless just coming in there.
Well, on that note, I have to work in the morning.
All
Thanks
right.
for being your
Yeah.
first unofficial guest.
Well, real fast. To our listeners who remember Misdirection from the 4-H days, yes, of course we're doing this, and yes, of course it's great. A special shout out to Jessica Jolly for designing our logo. If you like our podcast, go ahead on YouTube, go down and hit that like and subscribe for us. Would appreciate us. And if you have any feedback, feel free to email us at misdirection.llc@gmail.com. That's misdirection.llc@gmail.com.
You sound like you're trying to leave a voicemail.
Beep.